kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling sea.
All hail, Macbeth.
To be
That shall be king hereafter.
or not to be.
Alas, poor Yorick.
The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge, cry God for Harry, England, and St. George!
In 1949, American actor Sam Wanamaker visited London expecting to see the Globe Theatre. He never found it. From his disappointment grew an idea to recreate a full-scale replica of the Elizabethan theatre.
He wanted it the size and the shape it had been in Shakespeare's time. Nobody knew that either at the time. He went all over the world talking to scholars about their input to make our thing as good as we could get. He wanted it built like it had been built, in the materials that had been built in. You can see we've got an oak wood frame there, plaster, infill and a thatched roof. He wanted it as near as possible to the way it had been in Shakespeare's time. He thought, if we could do authentic, as far as we could have Shakespeare's plays come alive in different ways.
James Burbage, progenitor of the custom-built theatre, by which name his playhouse was known, counted William Shakespeare amongst his company. Burbage lost his lease. His sons, Richard and Cuthbert, carried on the struggle after their father's death in 1597, but to no avail, so they leased a plot of land at Southwark. The theatre was dismantled, transported and rebuilt as the Globe.
It's the hottest entertainment place in town. Now the first thing we would have seen in Shakespeare's day was the flag flying. And that would have told us, even if we couldn't read or write, something was on at the theatre. Then over the river we would come, from the old city over there to this part of town. Now this is where the shocking bit begins. Now this part of town was outside the legal control of the city over there. And the shocking thing is that this was church lands that had belonged from ancient times to the great bishops of Winchester. We should be on our knees as I say the word, the bishops of Winchester. Well, after all, the richest, the most powerful princes of the church, when that really meant something. And they'd had a huge estate on the bankside here for centuries, and it included things like a deer park and orchards and gardens. They had pasture for sheep and cattle. Here, where our replica globe is, if you look on the old maps downstairs, you'll see here were the bishop's fish ponds for all those days when you weren't supposed to eat meat. And they had a palace on the bankside. You can still see a bit surviving above ground. Lots more underground, but the surviving bit is of their great hall that the bishops had big events in.
For 14 years the Globe prospered. Not even a fire in 1613 could stem its tide. It took the Civil War in 1642 to do that. The Puritans held the same view as those Lord Mayors, perhaps because Bankside was the Soho of its day, which explains a lot really. The new Globe receives no government aid, relying solely upon its benefactors, some of whose names are to be found in the paving of the piazza. The trust, set up in 1970, is an ongoing fund to expand the thespian and educational programmes of the theatre. Authenticity was the key word. Every stage of Reconstruction adhered to traditional methods. Even the sloping yard, to cope with drainage, has its surface made from hazelnut shells, cinders, ash and silt. Modern regulations have also halved the Globe's capacity. Only 1,500 are now permitted inside, whilst the exits have doubled to number 4. Around the stage are the private boxes. The gentlemen's rooms flanking the stage could be hired for 12 pence, whereas the lords' rooms cost 6 pence each and were behind the stage. For people went to hear a play, the words were more important than the visuals. Seats in the galleries would cost 2 pence, whilst the groundlings paid 1 penny to stand in the open air.
There's always comedy and tragedy mixed up together. There's always sword fighting, singing, dancing, philosophy, poetry, all mixed up. So whoever you were when you came to the globe, you got your money's worth. We're finding that out as we put the plays on. But take a look where the criss-cross pieces are, we call it the heavens. When we go close, you see painted the signs of the zodiac and the sun and the moon. In the middle there's a trap door, and up in the hut there we've got winding mechanism, so gods and goddesses can come down from the heavens. Deus ex machina, the Romans used to call it. You know, we can do it at the globe. Then the heavens, supported on the 2 big pillars, we call those the pillars of Hercules. And each of those pillars is a great big 2-ton oak tree. And they've shaped them to look like classical pillars and painted them like marble. Because it's all illusion, it's all trompe-l'œil, as the French call it. A fool the eye painted wood on the stage. It's not real. At the globe. Now the pillars stand on the stage floor where the actors walk about, and that of course represents the earth. And then in the middle of the earth we've got another trap door. Well, we've got the heavens, we've got the earth. Where is the trap door and the earth going to take us to? Hell, yes. Let's face the facts here. If we sell our soul to the devil, like you do, that's where the devil comes out to get us, drag us down. So it's all symbolic. Heavenly things coming down, wicked things popping up. And then at the back in the middle, doors that go into the back of the wooden room, where we keep furniture and stuff. Because as you see, we're an open stage. We can't hide very much from it. We can't drop a curtain and do things behind it. So if we need beds, thrones, whatever, the servants trundle them out, trundle them away.
Sadly, Sam Wanamaker died in December 1993, so never saw the finished project. His dream of a living theatre marries the 400-year legacy of Shakespeare's words. May they long remain so. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage.